Hey Nuggets, welcome back to another episode of QuaranStream. By special request today, we have with us as a guest, Mr. Keith Hanson. Good morning, Mr. Hanson.
Good morning, everybody.
All right, so let's get to it. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being best day ever, 1 being terrible, how are you doing today or in the last couple days?
Oh, it's got to be pretty high, 9 or 10. I try to stay above the line, keep it near a 9 or a 10. Smile every day and be happy.
Well, you're doing better than me, Mr. Hanson, because I'm feeling pretty burnt out these days. I don't even know what number I'm at, but it is not super high. I am working on getting better, but it's just time for the year to be done, I think.
Yeah.
What has been the toughest part for you about distance learning and this physical distancing stretch of time?
I miss being in the classroom and, hanging out with my students. Some days I think of them as my own kids, but, as surrogate children more than anything. But just seeing their faces and seeing kids smile and, high-fiving, knuckles, pats on the back, whatever. I miss that part.
I feel like that's a big piece of what brought us all into education in a brick and mortar building versus any other kind of job. Yeah. It hasn't all been bad. So what have been some of the best parts of this experience for you?
Truly, there's a lot of things that have been the same. I work with kids one-on-one in Google Meets. It's like the only difference is before they'd come stand at my desk or sit at my desk, or we'd sit at a table or whatever. So we're just looking at each other through a screen. So I mean, there's a lot of similarities. Not seeing every kid, that's it's self-selected when you hop in a Google Meet with me and ask for help or that. So you don't get the touch base with everyone.
What are you finding that you are feeling grateful for these days?
Oh, I'm grateful the sun's shining. I've got 2 wonderful kids, a wife. We're all healthy. You can't put a price on that.
Right. Well, and I think especially these days when we hear so much bad news, I think we're extra appreciative of that we are doing okay health-wise. This is super stressful.
I don't have any tight connections with anybody that's gotten infected, and that's a scary thing. It's just scary. It's just what this virus is capable of doing. It's the best thing you can do is stay safe. And
yeah, well, keep staying safe in your basement or wherever you're working these days. For you during this just really weird, stressful time, what are some of the most effective ways that you take care of yourself?
Just the best part of me is just getting to 3:30, 4 o'clock whenever I'm done with emails or meeting with a student, and getting outside and either just walking around the house or walking around the block, or the rest of the family will all go for a walk. Getting away from the computer, just cutting the cord at that point, and enjoying the people I'm around.
How can you tell when you're reaching that point where you are starting to get, stressed or overwhelmed, or you've had one of those days? How do you tell when you're at that breaking point?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think it's any one thing. You just sometimes, like during the middle of the day, you just gotta get up, click all the meats off, and just go for a walk, and get fresh air or see what the rest of the family is doing.
If you had to give students a tip for how to take care of themselves, what do you think is something that is really important for them to do to keep doing okay through this?
Yeah, once your school day's done, as hard as it is, they gotta put your device down and talk to people face to face somehow, or whether that's family members or get to know a neighbor. Or I'm lucky enough that I have 2 coworkers that are my neighbors, so we get to visit and debrief on our weeks and such. So As Mr. Burcham talked about his pile of lumber that we've created in our home improvement and talking through the fence.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's helpful to have people that get what you are doing or what you're going through without having to explain it so much to them.
Right.
Luckily,
Mr. Willeen and I, we both teach Algebra 2, so we're able to, at least face-to-face talk about what's going on with class and what we have to get done to, move forward and things like that. So, we're able to talk face-to-face and not have to do it through a phone or email.
Yeah. I'm imagining you and Mr. Willeen standing at the end of your respective driveways, yelling across the street at each other as you're debriefing about Algebra 2.
We have. Actually, we have. We've sat in each other's respective driveways and talked to each other.
I think an important thing for kids, as we are at this point so late in the game, is remembering that we have only, 12 days or whatever it is left of actual learning, that we are so close to the end. So hang in there and keep on finishing.
It's absolutely surreal that we do, after today, have 12 days of quote unquote school left. And it's hard to believe and hard to understand. And I have a tough time wrapping my head around it. I mean, we'll be a single digit soon.
Right. What's your advice for kids who are struggling in your class, or really any class, but specifically if they're having a hard time, what do you want them to do?
Ask for help, whether it's me or Mr. Willeen or anybody else. There's ask for help, and it's fortunately for some kids it's a barrier, and they don't, they're sometimes afraid to ask, and it's unfortunate, but it's that's how life is. You're going to have a boss someday that you're going to have to ask for help. Well, if you're afraid to ask the boss for help because if you don't like the answer he might give you, well, then it's going to be a hard life on you at that point.
Yeah, good life skills here. The next question is actually from a student. They want to know, how are you managing your time wisely for getting your work and your teaching done?
It's just like I create a list. About a week ago, I created a big old list of all the things I have to do in all my classes, and I've been just checking it off. Goal setting, so those are the things I got to do, and I had a geometry, algebra 2, trig list, and I was just trying to get them all checked off. And primarily, I've got most of my geometry stuff, got most of my algebra 2 stuff. I'm about a day ahead in my trig class, so I'm sorry, trig students. I'm just towing the line for you, but we're getting there.
It feels good to cross that stuff off too, doesn't it? I love seeing the list that's completed.
It was a great day. The other day I was going through things, and then I noticed I had already created notes for one of my lessons because I had missed that day or whatever some years past. I'm like, whoo, one less thing to do.
Right. All right. Last question. What do you want your students to know?
What do I want my students to know? That's really open-ended.
It is.
Wow. Everything. I want them to know everything. I don't know. I want them to know that, us teachers, we're there for you. We're willing to help in any way, shape, or form. If you need somebody to talk to, we're there for that, and we'll do whatever we can to make this the best situation that we possibly can for you. We're all in the same boat. It's not a fun situation, but we're going to make the best out of it, and that's all I can ask is students do things the right way, make it the best possible situation for you. Look at it moving forward. Where do you want to be in 5 years, and what can you do right now that can help you 5 years from now? Those types of things.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. Any last comments you have before we let you go?
No, that's about it. Stay healthy. Keep working hard, kids. We miss you. I miss you all, and it's just keep working hard. That's do things the right way and be professional and classy and live life to its fullest. at least as full as we can make it right now.
Okay, some wise parting words from you, Mr. Hanson. So Nuggets, there you go. If you have any more requests for future guests on QuaranStream, put them on my Google Classroom form for that purpose. I'm still taking a few more of those as we wind down the year. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you next week. Bye.